So I initially wasn't going to make a video about this. Simply, I bought these LED side marker lights for my headlights. They're really bright. I really like them. And the LED light on the passenger side ended up going out. I spent $10 for 2 bulbs, and they lasted about 2 years. So I went on Amazon and I ordered a new set. As you can see, that's what they look like. So as I was removing the old bulb, I started to inspect it and I realized that the connector on one side was loose. And judging from the design, I determined that these could be broke apart. So which I did very carefully. And that accesses you to a small electrical board in there. And when I'm looking inside this thing, I could see that one connector was soldered on and the connector that was loose obviously broke off. So what I've done thus far is I've bent these tabs back straight because in order to release the electrical board for me to resolder it, I need to have these tabs go back through this plastic housing part. So let me get the rest of this on camera, and this just goes to show that before you throw something out, see if you can fix it. Okay, so what I'm going to attempt to do now is just make sure these tabs are as straight as possible before I try to reinsert it back through itself. It needs to be bent just a little bit. And they're both pretty darn straight. The broke off one, I suppose it doesn't really matter which direction I send it through. So I'm just going to try pushing it back down through the housing. Okay, very carefully. And as you can now see, this one connector end is completely broke free from the motherboard. So this should just be a simple soldering repair. Okay, so soldering that back on there was very simple. I tried to put as minimal heat into this thing as possible, and it appears that everything went very smoothly. So now I'm going to try and reinsert the plastic housing back in. I'm going to pull these prongs from the back. And I don't know if I mentioned already, but these prongs were not straight. Originally they were bent over the side, and that's kind of where they make contact, but I had to bend them in order for them to pull through the housing. Okay, that looks decent. I like to pull this side one out. When I resoldered the one side, it made the connection just a little bit shorter, but I think it'll be alright. So next thing I'm going to do is take some super glue. I was originally going to use hot glue, but I figured super glue would be a little bit better because it's not going to bunch up as much here. Let me get a zoom in with the camera here. Yeah, if you use hot glue, it's nice because it's quick and effective, but it bunches up a bit. That's why I don't want to use it. Which I have used hot glue in many circumstances, and it has proven to be quite a useful tool when repairing things. Yeah, definitely don't underestimate hot glue. Alright, so when you're putting super glue on something, just make sure everything lines up first, because you don't want to get this stuff on your skin if you can help it. So I'm just going to let the glue dry for a couple minutes, and then we'll go out, bend these tabs back over, and see if our repair worked. Alright, so I've allowed the glue to set up for a while, and now I'm just going to bend these tabs back over, and then we will reinsert it into the connector and see if this little repair worked. Let me turn it on and see if it worked. And it does not. Wait. Ah, there we go. So hopefully this will be a little lesson for you guys as well as myself. Before you go out and buy a new part, if there's a chance that the old part is fixable, take it apart, crack it open, see what's inside. Who knows, with a little bit of luck, it could be something as simple as a connection that broke off that you just need to solder back together. So until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.